As an investigative journalist in Nigeria, Philip Obaji Jr. has covered a lot over the years, including extremist groups, human trafficking, and abuse of civil liberties. But one story really captured the attention of this reporter for the Daily Beast: Russia's Wagner group in West Africa.
And even with the death of its founder, Yevgeny Prigozhin, there's still so much around this group that we haven't spoken about that we need to tell the world about.
Obaji will continue his reporting on the mercenary organization through a Jim Hogue Reporting Fellowship, awarded by the International Center for Journalists, or ICFJ. The ICFJ honored Obaji and other journalists in Washington late September.
So these journalists have different approaches to telling really interesting stories, often about communities that are undercovered in the regular media.
Obaji's interest in Wagner Group started in 2018, when 3 Russian journalists were killed on a remote road in the Central African Republic. The trio was investigating the activities of Russian military contractors in the area.
And I wanted to really know exactly what this group was doing in that country, and so that's why I picked up interest. And each time I ask questions, there's always another question to ask, because I get answers that really leaves gaps in between.
But covering such a story has its risks.
I mean, 3 Russian journalists went to investigate and then they got killed. Local journalists will try to investigate or ask questions about the Wagner group, either get disappeared or somehow targeted by whether it's Wagner or government forces.
The non-profit press freedom organization Reporters Without Borders describes the Central African Republic as a dangerous place, where journalists are often the targets of threats and violence and subject to pressure from both armed groups and authorities.
That coverage is hardly there in the country because of fear. Yeah, but there are brave local journalists who will try to work, anonymously with the foreign media to help these stories get out.
With many journalists fearful of covering sensitive issues and sources scared to go on record, reporting on groups like Wagner, it's tough. So, fellowships, like the one Obaji received, can help reporters cover difficult stories and reach wider audiences.
It is a really interconnected and global society, and what happens in Africa or what happens in South America have ramifications on how we choose to act and what we choose to support and how we want to move forward as a global community.
After his brief visit to Washington, Obaji returns to Nigeria to continue his work on a long-form project focused on the Wagner Group. Cristina, Caicedo, Smit, VOANews, Washington.